teaching your kids there's more than one way to be a croissant? If anything, the existence of big and small croissants shows our kids how wonderful and diverse the world of pastries can be.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of The Dave Show. I am so glad you could be here today, and we've got a good show. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to turn out well. We've got a little bit of good stuff, a little bit of crazy stuff, nice mix. So let's stop talking. Let's jump in. Let's do it. All right, we have plenty of lib logic to muddle through, but first we've got just a couple random clips. It was Easter just a couple days ago, and this is a clip I found of President Trump during the Easter festival. It was, you know, slightly different from from when President Biden had their Easter festivities. Take a look.
Do you remember the bunny with Joe Biden? Remember? Do you remember when the bunny took Joe Biden out? He's not taking Trump out. Anyway, that was a beautiful moment when the bunny saved Joe Biden.
Okay, this next clip is like totally crazy. It's the most random thing I think I've seen on the internet in a while. It's a diver, and he I guess he pokes an octopus, or accidentally pokes an octopus, and check out and see what happens. I've never seen this before. So I'm not sure if he knew the octopus was there and he like poked it, but this is crazy. It's like wrapped around him, and it's in his mouth. Like one of the arms is in the mouth. He can't breathe. Now everything turns out okay. It's not like some weird death video, but I've never seen an octopus attack a human. It's like in his mouth. Like how? What are the odds of that? I've never seen this. And it's gripping. It's gripping hard. Now, luckily, he was able to get up to the surface. He's just like, what the heck? So the mainstream media is, they're up to their old games, their old tricks, pulling the same old play out of their playbook, and that's just like straight up lying. And what they're doing is, let me show you here. They're spreading this allegation that President Trump is looking to replace Pete Hegseth, and the president totally denies it. Listen to what the president has to say.
I mean, I hear they're doing that whole thing again. Here we go again. Just a waste of time. He is doing a great job.
Why do you still have confidence?
Because he's doing a great job. Thanks, sir. Ask the Houthis how he's doing. Ask the Houthis how much dysfunction there is. There's none. Pete's doing a great job. Everybody's happy with him. We have the highest recruitment numbers I think they've had in 28 years. No, he's doing a great job. It's just fake news. They just bring up stories. I guess it sounds like disgruntled employees. You know, he was put there to get rid of a lot of bad people, and that's what he's doing. So you don't always have friends when you do that.
All right, and here's one more response to the absolutely, I don't even know where the mainstream media is getting this from, why they're trying to do this, but here's another response. Take a look.
The president stands strongly behind Secretary Hegseth, who is doing a phenomenal job leading the Pentagon. And this is what happens when the entire Pentagon is working against you and working against the monumental change that you are trying to implement. Secretary Hegseth was nominated for this position because he is standing up for the war fighter, the men and women in uniform who are putting their lives on the line to protect our country and our homeland. And unfortunately, there have been people at that building who don't like like the change the secretary is trying to bring, so they are leaking and they are lying to the mainstream media. We've seen this game played before. The secretary is doing a tremendous job, and the president stands strongly behind him.
This next clip has nothing to do with Pete Hegseth, but it is about Pam Bondi. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of in agreement with what this person has to say. Check it out.
Where are the indictments, Pam? If we don't get any big indictments soon, Trump needs to replace her.
Yeah, and like I said, I kind of agree with that. I'm like, was just talking about this with my wife the other day. I was like, where are all these people? Why is nobody getting arrested? Like, why are we not seeing perp walks of all these like people that seem to be totally guilty of crimes, yet nothing is happening, apparently. And this is another perfect example of what I'm talking about. I found this just the other day, and this is crazy. Judge Juan Cano, I don't know, Democrat, surprise, okay, was just busted with a Trende Aragua. I speak English. Aragua, that's not what I'm rolling with. Gang member staying in his house. Are you kidding me? Why is this guy why has he not been disbarred yet? Why has he not been arrested? He's been harboring a terrorist, a known terrorist. Why is this guy not been arrested, disbarred, taken his judgeship away? Why haven't we seen this guy, like, you know, ducking his head down into the police car? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand this. Pam Bondi, you need to get on this, like, ASAP. This is absolutely sickening to see. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to the next clip here. All right, folks. Looks like it's a Congress party down in El Salvador, because there are lots and lots of congressmen and women on our dime, mind you, on the taxpayer dime, going down to El Salvador to meet with this known terrorist, wife-beating, human trafficking, illegal alien, and I just don't get it. I don't understand why the Democrats are choosing to die on this hill, because that is exactly what we're doing. I think there's like 4 or 5 we're going to look at. I don't know. And there's probably going to be a lot more. And I hope. My wife showed me a thing yesterday. Who was it? I don't remember who it was, but he is involved with basically releasing the funds to pay for all this stuff. And he said he wasn't gonna do it. So I hope that's the case. I don't know. But anyways, check out these scumbag Democrats. I don't know. I don't know why they're choosing to represent illegal alien terrorists instead of their, you know, law-abiding citizen constituents. But hey, let's take a look.
Hi everyone, this is Congresswoman Yasemin Ansari. After a long day, we have arrived in El Salvador. I am here with several of my colleagues to demand that Donald Trump release Kilmar Abrego Garcia, union member, Maryland man who was wrongfully detained and deported, has never been convicted of a crime, and who the United States Supreme Court has ruled 9-0 unanimously the United States must facilitate his return. Last night, I had a town hall in my district where a woman came and said her son, who is Salvadoran, they are scared to travel this summer because what if what happened to Kilmar Garcia happens to them? If there's not due process for Kilmar, there will be no due process for anyone. We want to make sure that Kilmar is still alive. We want to make sure that he has access to counsel. We want to make sure that the United States does what it's supposed to do, follow the Supreme Court of the United States and release him. And we are here fighting for the future of our democracy.
Why, Congressman, are you in El Salvador? You are there for an El Salvadorian man who was a resident illegally of Maryland. You're a congressman from Florida. Why are you in El Salvador?
Well, we're here because a man who had protected status in Maryland, a Maryland man, union member, worker with a citizen wife and beautiful children, was taken out of his state and out of the United States back over here without due process. And for us, we're here for a couple of reasons. Number one is because every person in our country deserves due process. And we want to make sure that we draw the line here at Kilmar Garcia.
Congresswoman Maxine Dexter here, coming to you from El Salvador. I flew here last night with 3 of my colleagues to demand that Kilmar Abrego Garcia be released. He is being held in violation of a Supreme Court order expressly telling the Trump administration to effectuate and facilitate his coming home. That is being ignored. This is not just a threat to all people in the United States who could be illegally abducted, detained, and transported internationally against their will, but it is a fact that our president does not recognize the branches of government and the balances of power. This is what we all have been calling a constitutional crisis, yet it is more severe than anything we've seen. We cannot stay silent. We must stay loud. I am here because I refuse to wait for something to happen. We are here to release Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
What's really important is that Donald Trump is defying a 9-0 decision of the Supreme Court to bring Kilmar Abrego Garcia back home to the United States. Lower courts have affirmed that. The administration has said they sent him here by accident, and this is a massive due process crisis in our country. Donald Trump cannot defy the Supreme Court. We've got to raise the attention, not just in the U.S., but here, and demand his release.
All right, my friends, I have no idea why all of these Democrats are going down to El Salvador on our dime. Don't be deceived. We're paying for these trips. Look, if they just wanted to take a vacation, just go on a vacation. But again, this is so bizarre that they're going down there to El Salvador, trying to get the release of a man, and he's not a loving Maryland dad with disabled kids and whatever. Look, this guy is a wife beater. He's a human trafficker. He's a designated terrorist by the government of the United States. He is now in his home country that he was born in. So what is the issue? Why are all you Dems dying on this hill? But you know what? As far as I'm concerned, just do it. And just everyone just die on this big, beautiful El Salvadorian hill, because that will lock in the midterms for the Republicans. It'll lock in the 2028 for the Republicans, and it'll lock in probably the next 3 or 4 elections for the Republicans. So do it. I applaud your efforts. Keep it going. All right, listen, we are now ready to jump into the deep end of the insanity pool. So sit back, relax, buckle up. You're about to enter the Lib Zone.
Y'all, they saying J.D. Vance killed the Pope. Wow, that's crazy. Who said that? Me. Let's keep the rumor going. What I want to know is, how terrible of a person does J.D. Vance have to be in order for you to meet the Pope, okay, on Easter Sunday, a blessed day, and the Pope want to hit next day shipping?
Why is that a terrible thing to meet the Pope on Easter Sunday? I mean, I'm not Catholic, but I wouldn't even think that would be an honor to meet the Pope, period. And especially on Easter Sunday. That's pretty awesome. Okay, crazy. What else do you have to say?
As soon as he meets you. And he was immunocompromised. He had pneumonia. So you went in and saw him without a mask, without gloves, knowing that your ass don't believe in vaccines, and we know you don't wash your ass. Was this a DEI effort?
What?
You know y'all don't have jurisdiction in the Vatican, right, to get your DEI efforts out the way? But I digress.
Doesn't make any sense.
The Pope, the poor Pope, the man who advocates for war-torn children and immigrants and climate change, that's who y'all wanted to get up out the pain? Because we know you had one agenda only. me.
Okay.
And my thing is, logically, walk with me.
Yeah, okay.
If something happens to my husband today, they're going to be like, who were you with last night, right? Who were you with yesterday? Who were the last people to see you? And it's going to be me. And then they're going to put me on court.
Oh,
so
okay,
I just feel like, if you catch my drift, JD Vance, he got to go to court for this. We got to figure out if and when he gave him the kiss of death. Thank you.
Okay, what? I have no idea what that lady was talking about. I am quite certain the Pope is still alive. And with her allegations, of him not wearing a mask, take a look at this. She's so stupid. I found this today, and look, there's JD Vance, there's the Pope, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 other people, no masks. So any one of those people could have given the Pope the kiss of death, but he's still alive. So I don't really know where you're going with this. You're so stupid. Yeah.
I'm so tired of not being safe. I'm so tired of being abused by people.
Oh gosh.
So tired.
If you see ICE disappearing people in the streets, will you get in the way? Yes. If you are charged with enforcing any part of President's unlawful executive orders, will you resist? Yes. If your neighbor needs a place to hide, will you hide them? Yes. And right now, as the Maine legislature is trying to scapegoat transgender student athletes bargaining long-held civil rights away in hopes to save Maine federal funding, will you show up for them and say that our human rights aren't for sale? Yes. Thank you.
I really don't even know what she said. I just couldn't get over the fact, like, how do you get jeans to fit that body shape? Like, where do you find jeans that fit like that? I don't understand. Anyways, let's move on to the next video. This guy is definitely mentally ill, and I'm definitely sure Pam Bondi and Cash and anybody else that's listening needs to go find this guy and check him out, because he sounds like he might legitimately be a threat to President Trump, although I think he probably doesn't have the not the fortitude, but just like the energy to go actually do it. You know what I'm saying? He looks like he's more like he's gonna just sit in the basement and play video games. So I don't know. I hope the latter is the case, but check this guy out. He's kind of nuts.
Okay, guys, I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. Somebody's got to do it, and I've got the right skin tone. My mom would be proud of me. I just need a 3D printer.
See what I mean? Talking about just needing a 3D printer, which is kind of scary in and of itself, because you can print out a gun that's fully functional. Now, I don't think you can print out bullets that actually work, but yeah, that's scary. That's scary stuff. Anyways, let's see what this next guy has to say.
I was wondering how you feel about I'm forgetting the name, the congresswoman that's transgender.
They call her a man?
Yeah, again, called a man kind of repeatedly in Congress. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like we shouldn't be doing that? Or do you feel like that's like, hey, it's your own freedom to call anybody whatever you want?
You know, that's a great question, man. I'm glad you asked that question, because in the spirit of trying to get along with people, you don't want to unnecessarily offend people if it's not necessary.
Right.
But at the same time, we can't just let it get off the rails. People should be free to identify that person the way they want to identify if they're addressing a person. At the end of the day, you're either a man or a woman. Now, you may identify as something else, which is fair, but you still are either a man or a woman. And I think that you can't impose your theology on everybody and force them to believe what you believe. I would never do anything to hurt a trans person, because I know that they're a person.
Right.
They just got whatever struggle going on.
Obvious.
But I wish that there was some honesty here. The logic behind transgenderism is that a person believes, because they have gender dysphoria or something other traumatic thing that's going on in their life or their mind, and they decide to transition. Well, the world is lying to kids now. And they're telling you, if you transition, everything's going to be okay. Or it's going to be better for you. And the world is just going to accept you. When you're a kid, you don't understand how cruel the world really is and how much you probably won't fit in. You ain't got $100,000 to transition your face and have your body contoured the way a woman would look. And now their life is a living hell, worse than it probably was if they hadn't transitioned. But they don't teach people that, they don't tell them that, they don't warn them of that, and they're setting people up for failure.
Man, Officer Tatum was dropping truth bombs all over the place. Take cover, because incoming. But yeah, I mean, that's true. And it is also true that we need to be, nice to people, obviously. Be kind to people, obviously. But don't ask me to bend the knee to your delusions that if you're a man and you think you're a woman that I should call you by those pronouns. Not happening. But yeah, let's be nice to each other. Let's be kind to each other. That is the golden rule, right? And it's something we should all abide by, and the world would be so much better if we did. All right, let's get on with the insanity.
I spent the last 5 months preparing us to leave.
Oh, your whole family?
He's not up for going anymore.
No.
He's more scared of the unknown than staying here. And me and my girls are trapped without him.
Trapped without him? What happened? But you can't just leave us hanging on that. What, did you guys get a divorce, or did you leave without him and now you're stuck in some foreign country? Like, what happened there? I need some context, lady. My gosh, that's not nice. You need to give us some resolution. If anybody knows what happened to that lady, let me know in the comments. Jeez Louise. I feel sorry for her.
There's a secret that everyone knows, but no one's allowed to talk about. Working for a female boss sucks.
Yes. I totally agree. I've worked for one female boss. Way back in the day, I worked in medical records, and she was a total wench. She was horrible, and she cussed me out, just railed me up and down, ripped me new ones that I didn't even know I had. I don't even remember what I did, but it was something, it doesn't even matter. But the thing is, she did this like right in like front of all the other workers, all the other people that were waiting for their medical records. And she was vicious, absolutely vicious. And I don't like working for female bosses. So anyways, let's keep going.
Especially if you're a girl. Everyone always talks about the patriarchy keeping them down. Smash the patriarchy. The patriarchy is the only thing that has ever promoted me. Ask any girl when you're just having a casual conversation and she's not being a feminazi if she would rather work for a male or a female. And she will tell you. And why? Because women are jealous. Women are moody. Women are insecure. And for some reason, they take all of that out on the women working for them. Because women are mean to each other. We are our own worst enemies. And maybe, just maybe, it's because women aren't meant to spend their childbearing years in a corporate workplace. But we're not allowed to say that. You can't sit with us!
Yeah, that was very enlightening. Let me know in the comments, anybody that's worked for a female boss, or if you're a woman that works for a female boss, or currently works for a female boss, or any kind of situation there. I'd love to hear hear what happened to you, if you agree with this lady. If you think it's absolutely horrible to have a female boss because of the reasons she stated. All right, let's keep going.
I've seen a few videos recently about how talking about living an authentic life might become a new thing. And it strikes me that ever since the beginning, one of the classic standard techniques of MAGA has been always accuse the other side of exactly what you're doing or planning to do yourself. And you know,
why you just did the thing that you do. Oh my gosh, the projection in this person, no, it's a he. I'm not going to say she. It's a he, but my gosh, that is exactly what the Democrats do and the lefties do. And yet, he just did it. So funny.
You know what they said almost at the very beginning, and they've said all along? Fake.
What?
MAGA is fake. The whole thing. The outrage, the grievances.
Oh my gosh.
The performative feistiness. And this kind of mean gleefulness that seems to be the dominant mood on this platform is like a fake version of joy.
Huh?
You know what we got over here on this side?
Misery?
Actual joy.
No, delusion.
You could have it back if you want, but you got to let go of the MAGA daydream.
I would take the MAGA daydream over the liberal nightmare any day. Give me a break.
You know what's so funny? I keep getting the same question worded word for word. Do you guys coordinate this ahead of time?
I think it's just common sense.
No, I think you guys must have like a group chat of all the guys that don't have girlfriends.
Well, yeah.
Not sure what they were talking about, but whatever it was, Mr. Kirk got him good. All right, take a look at this next clip. Oh my gosh, this is scary, scary stuff. If you ever thought or maybe doubted that the mainstream media is not just one big propaganda arm for the DNC and that they don't get, I don't know, they must get scripts or something sent to them and they all read from it. Check it out. This is so creepy and kind of scary. Just watch. Just watch.
Yeah, that's it.
Is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their
This is fucking scary. Yeah, this is the scariest.
Well, that's propaganda.
Hey, Republican males.
Yeah?
Why are you so intimidated by Abrigo Garcia?
Got a major issue with homelessness in this country. The solution does seem to build more homes. Now, not every homeless person's condition is the same.
Not the solution to homelessness.
Not every homeless person's condition is the same.
More homes does not solve homelessness. You're wrong. No.
It doesn't solve all of it, but it does help
totally
people who need help.
No, it doesn't. It's telling them you can't go defecate on the side of the street, clean up, get out of here. I'm going to put you in a prison cell.
So hold on now. You think that
they're homeless by choice.
No,
it is not a lack of homes why we have homelessness.
All the people that I know who do work, who are homeless, you think that they're...
Wait, how many people do you know that work that are homeless? I don't know anybody. Well, I don't know anybody that's homeless, and I definitely don't know anybody that's homeless that actually works. So I think I call shenanigans.
All mentally ill and not deserving of having homes.
So did they apply for Section 8 housing?
Absolutely, they didn't get it. There's not enough.
There's an abundance of Section 8 housing.
Absolutely not in every area.
So someone working 2 jobs.
No, not 2 jobs. Twice the minimum wage in Tennessee. Tennessee, the minimum wage is $7.50.
They have a family.
They have a family.
And their whole family's homeless.
Not the whole family.
So
the kids are with the grandparents.
So I'm going to call BS on this whole thing. Wait a second. So they're earning $14.50 an hour.
$14.50 an hour.
Or $7.50 is the minimum wage. So $15 an hour, right? And they're working like what, 7-8 hours a day, right?
Yeah, 40 a week.
Okay, so like $120 a day, right? So they're getting like $600 a week. That's like $2,400 a month. So they could also get food stamps. They could get Medicaid insurance, and they could also get welfare, having their income level under $60,000 a year, of which that would total them $76,000 a year.
Wow.
You're trying to tell me in the greater Knoxville area there's not an apartment that they could put themselves and their family for $76,000 a year? You know what? They probably have a drug problem, which is where all that money is from. Because I just call BS on that entire mathematical equation. It doesn't exist. Final thing, what I will say is that if that scenario exists, instead of the government taking care of them, local churches should step up and take care of these people if those scenarios exist.
And for the Life's babies who keep saying, oh, she doesn't know anything. She doesn't even know about Anthony Johnson or all the black slave owners. Oh, I know all about them. I just don't care about them. Yeah. The only slave owners that I choose to hold accountable are the pink ones because I can. Black power forever.
Yeah, it is interesting that she only chooses to want to have her hate directed towards white slave owners when obviously she knows that there are black slave owners as well during the time of slavery. And I'm sure with bet my life on that she also believes in reparations because she is due for the struggles of her family or whatever. I don't know. She's delusional.
Context matters. Take, for example, the number 1.5 million.
doesn't seem like a big number, but it's a huge number. Why? Well, because that's the number that's causing all the problems in our nation right now. You see, Musk, if he's successful, wants to cut the 3 million employees that the government is currently employing down by half. That's 1.5 million Americans. And the Democrats and the rhinos, the deep state, and the bureaucrats are all losing their fucking minds, lighting their hair on fire, saying that if we don't have these Americans working every day, taking your tax dollars and paying their mortgages with them, if that doesn't happen, this nation will come to a screeching halt.
Yep.
It's all bullshit.
What they say.
You know why? Well, here's the context. In 2020 and 2021, we were told, you're not essential. Stay the fuck home.
Yep. Now, just to let you know, I was actually one of those people that was essential at my job. So, but they actually gave me a card that they told me I needed to carry with me in case I was stopped by the police or whatever going to or from work. And at that time, I mean, there was nobody on the roads. It was kind of creepy. But yeah, they gave me a card. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I mean, I'm coming into work fine. I'm grateful I still have a job, but this is stupid.
We've got this. We'll let you know when to go back to work and open your businesses.
Exactly.
And how many of us did they tell that to? 107 million Americans. That's context.
You know, I never thought I'd see the day where a segment of America would be happy to be subservient to another nation.
Well, just like in that last clip, there's so many people that were subservient to the government, saying, you know, you got to stay 6 feet apart, you got to wear masks, you got to stay home, and blah blah blah. There were a lot of people that were more than willing. They were sheep, and they were just begging to be told what to do, and they followed it without question.
Just like I never thought I'd see the day where a certain segment of the country would be willing to watch their own country burn to the ground just from the hatred of a specific person who runs the country. But yet, still reap the benefits that this great nation has to offer. I mean, we all seen how certain Americans switched sides and sided with Ukraine, but now they're doing it with China. Well, like I said with the Ukrainians, if you side with China, go move to China. I'm sure the Chinese government would love you in their red armies. Go ahead, make China great. Then you can say you live in a country where everything is made in China.
Yeah, he's got some valid points. I mean, you can't deny it. There are a lot of people that are doing videos on TikTok and whatnot that are just like, yo, China's awesome and China's great. And these are like Americans, right? Jeez Louise. Like you said, if you love China so much, to go move there. We don't want you, okay? Let's just be honest.
What we have to always do, regardless of who you voted for, you still got to pay your rent, you still got to take care of your kids, you still got to take care of your business. And maybe some of what's happening, like, you know, they're trying to take apart the Department of Education. Yes. Maybe that is a good thing, because maybe it will force us to make sure that our kids actually get what they need. Maybe it'll force us to go to our state and say, listen, I want to make sure, since you're taking all this money from my taxes, I want to make sure that my kids get exactly what they need. I don't have to wait for the government to do it. We can do it. This is now in our hands. This is in our hands, and it's going to be tough, and nobody wants to do it because it's a bitch. But you know what? If it comes down to your survival, this is what you got to do. You got to take care of what you got to take care of. And they're telling me that we're going to be right back.
I find it kind of funny that as she was spouting all these, I would agree with her truths, right? All of a sudden, the producers are like, we got to cut the break. We got to cut the break. We got to do a hard break. Let's cut her off. She's telling too much truth. I don't know what's going on with Whoopi, but we got to stop her. That's funny.
trans women aren't women, then is this big croissant not a croissant? Of course it's a croissant. It's made out of butter and dough just like any other croissant. Oh, but there are biological differences. This croissant was born different. I'm not saying that there isn't a cosmetic difference between this croissant and this croissant, but they are both inarguably still croissant. Oh, but they're invading our bakeries and trying to brainwash our kids. But how? By teaching your kids there's more than one way to be a croissant? If anything, the existence of big and small croissants shows our kids how wonderful and diverse the world of pastries can be. Next thing you know, you're going to start demanding that big croissants use separate cafes and identify as scone. And here we go. So before I demolish this delicious and very valid pastry, repeat after me. Big croissants don't affect me in the slightest. If anything, it's pretty cool that they exist. Maybe one day I'll be lucky enough to find a big croissant and order it and dunk it in hot chocolate.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, I agree. I do feel dumber for listening to him. He's so retarded. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, my friends, we are definitely due for a detox.
It's time for Dave's Detox.
Look at me.
Attitude on this talk.
Hey you. Hey you.
He's like, nope. Don't do it. Don't do. Oh, you did it. Yeah, is it a squishy toy? Oh gosh. Aw, some more dogs and horses. That's nice. It's nice. Oh gosh. What are you doing? It's too big to hold. Oh geez. What's up with all these dogs licking the nose of horses? I don't understand that. The bridge. Oh geez. Okay. Nice. Aww. He's like, nope. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, you did it. All right, my friends. Well, that wraps up today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, slap that bell around, tell your friends what's going on in Idle Hands. Share the love. We'd love to have you in the community. All right. Well, hey, listen, until the next episode, know that you are loved, you are appreciated, and until we meet again, of course, have a great day.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear.